Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Charles. Josh is joining me today. Bass is joining me today. And Mitchell's off camera. He got severely burned yesterday in the sun. We'll put a picture up.
Looks like Anakin Skywalker.
We won't even go there. We're here at Fitzpatrick Stadium, home of Portland Hearts of Pine, to the Casa soccer tournament. And Mitchell, you've been here since yesterday.
Yeah.
Actually, since Friday is when this started. So, what was going on Friday? What was going on Saturday?
So Friday I didn't attend. I think that was kit pickup, little opening ceremony at Bunker Brewing, and then that was that for Friday night. Saturday morning we kicked off with the group stage. There were 3 groups of 4 teams. There was a team from New Jersey, a team from Massachusetts that came up. 7v7 tournament. Dirigo Union put in a team. And yesterday, the group stage, we went 1-2. Lots of goals scored. Lost the first game 5-10, found our form. Won the second game 10-5. Had a really good first half in the second game, but kind of...
Did we get footage of a worldie? Because the notes specifically say video of worldie from Donald, who's off camera as well.
It was off camera. It was off camera.
Oh,
He had a skimmer in that third game. It was from midfield. I saw it. I will put some respect on Donald's name for that. But the boys that came out and played, unreal effort. Today was the start of the knockouts. So we played in the first game, and unfortunately, the legs weren't there for the boys after yesterday. It was hot. It was a scorcher.
It was really hot yesterday.
After going Friday night, it was supposed to be pouring rain and cloudy. It went to blue skies, hot, humid, disgusting weather. We kept the boys hydrated, tried to get their legs back under them. It was like an hour and a half long break too, in between our second game and our third game. So it was a little tough after playing back-to-backs, but great effort from the boys. Really proud of the work they put in. It was not an easy tournament. The level of play out here has been really fun to watch.
Yeah, big shout out to everyone who came down and repped us this weekend, whether it was KP people, Union Originals, a lot of people getting together to help us out and get our wheels turning and be a part of this great tournament. So big shout out to everyone. It was a weekend of all weathers, really what you get up here in Maine in the summertime. So
at least it wasn't rained out.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it looked like it was just going to be torrential all weekend, but big shout out to Casa as well. This has been really fun to walk down on here this Sunday morning and see, the level of play, the people here, the camaraderie, everyone hugged up after the game. No one wants to go home first game Sunday morning in a tournament, but, it was good to see everyone interacting, both teams at the end of the game, and proud of the Union, man.
It's also just fun to be at the ground.
The
future stomping grounds of the Dirigo Union. So,
which, by the way, we're terrified of being hit by a ball right now. So if you're listening to us on the podcast, the net, it looks like they're just taking it down. We might be safe, but
I think we're going to 2 fields. I think they're moving down to 2 fields.
Okay, that's awesome for us because
perfect timing.
A few flew by as we were setting up. We were a little bit nervous about it. So when the final game's today, so there'll be a winner this afternoon. So we don't know how many games were played or who's going to be the winner.
We'll see. It wasn't the Union's year. Maybe next year. This is the first time they've been up in Portland. I believe Icarus has hosted tournaments in Philadelphia and New York area, kind of up and down the East Coast. So it's cool to see them come to Portland. A great group of people. We went out to the zoo last night. Great vibes out there. Obviously, love that place. Second home.
Yeah.
But no, we're just happy to be a part of it. It's footy being played, competitive soccer. Obviously, there's an edge. There's no prize other than a trophy and bragging rights. So it's cool to see all these guys putting their bodies on the line when they really don't need to.
It looked a little physical out there.
It was. Yesterday there was a scuffle in one of the games that saw 2 straight reds. So
really,
yeah. We won't get into the details. It wasn't a nice situation,
that one.
But no, it shouldn't have escalated to where it did. And
well, people get heated. It gets competitive.
Nobody
it is.
Wants to lose. That's part of the game. So
yep. All right.
We're excited to be here.
Yeah.
We're gonna try and talk to a couple of players from other teams, maybe some Icarus staff. Maybe they'll be able to shed a little bit more light on the tournament, what's to expect for the rest of the day, and we look forward to seeing who wins this thing.
Perfect. Well, let's see what happened recently with the Hearts. We were up in Rockland or they were, I should say they were, and the Union was invited to march with them as part of the Lobster Fest, which is in Rockland, Maine, and had an awesome turnout. I was there. Mitchell was there.
Justine, Rob.
And
then a bunch of people from the pitch came out too.
Yep. So, and the pitch actually organized it to have people from the pitch, which is a facility, a top level facility, really, really good in Warren. And it's actually home of the Dutch Soccer Academy. So I forget how many teams they have at this point. I'm familiar with them because I live up in that area, and I know Robbie, who runs the whole show up there. It's a really great organization. It's really good to see the Hearts get involved with an organization like that on a local level throughout Maine. So I hope it's something that they'll do with other soccer clubs and organizations, throughout the state. But as far as the parade goes, it was awesome. It's always a super well-attended event. There were lots of lobsters, and it was good to have some footy in there as well.
It was a wet morning too, so it was good to see a big group show out. We were waving flags, handing out Hearts stress balls and candy, and it was a good time. And while we were sheltered in the rain, waiting for the rain delay to stop, we were all huddled around cell phones watching the U.S. women's national team play. So
it must have been fun to just be in a different part of the state too. Just like all the build up to this has been very Portland centric.
Yes,
and this is kind of
exactly.
a Maine club, so it must have been cool to get a little bit of element of support,
Absolutely.
outside of Cumberland County.
And that was my first time at the Lobster Festival. So it was cool to see, all the pomp and circumstance that goes into one of the biggest events of the Maine summer. And it was even cooler to be a part of it.
We got a podcast shout out. I'm taking it as a podcast shout out. So we had a guy run up to us, and he was like, "From the forest to the tide."
Love
We're
that.
like, I'm
Like,
taking
ran
that as a
into the
podcast.
street.
We're taking that as a
We
podcast
love that.
shout out. So.
Yeah,
Love
absolutely.
I mean, Rockland's a great place. I mean,
It
it's
is.
super artsy. There's lots of good restaurants. It's a stopping point for anybody driving up through Route 1 through the Mid Coast, and I was really happy to see the Hearts there. There were a lot of kids there, and the fact that they were teamed up with the pitch, you saw a lot of young players who are playing in that area. So that it's as grassroots as it can get, right?
That's
so
awesome.
I'm actually thinking, if you guys are up for it, it could be a good stop to do a podcast from up there, since I'm familiar with a couple of them. It's a really nice facility.
Yeah.
We could even get kids or just the coaching and see what they're going to be doing, maybe with the Hearts even in the future. I'm sure there's a relationship blossoming there.
Oh yeah, that relationship is pretty established. It was cool to see all the kids playing. They were playing, kickabout with the stress balls. They had a pirate show up out of nowhere and start juggling one of them. So
That's awesome.
it was a really fun time.
We were following a pretty good float. I think it was a roofing company.
Porch
Was it
roofing.
Porch Roofing?
They actually they
had a roof.
won the best commercial float.
Did they?
Yep.
It was good for us to follow them
They had-
because there's a lot of attention.
Yeah, there was a ton of attention. They had beads, and they had two dudes strapped to the roof of the float, like in their full roofing
Yeah.
gear. So that was pretty cool to see, throwing
smart.
stuff into the crowd. Very good float.
So the other big thing that we haven't talked about since last time was just kind of the U.S. women's run through the Olympics, and they had a watch party at Rising Tide, I believe. Mitch,
Yep.
you were at that.
Yeah, that
You
was
wanna
a
shed some
pretty
light?
family-friendly event down at Kennedy Park. They had the soccer dartboard. There was tie-dye. They had our good friend of the club, Pat, in net, stopping shots from all the youth that came out. It was a very, very fun time. And then we led a march for the kids over to Rising Tide to watch the game. A few hundred people showed out. Good food, good drinks, and a really good result. So it was a really good time. And I don't think a lot of people realize that that doesn't really happen. It was cool to see that many people show out for the women's national team, on a random Sunday.
There's also, we've had some great showings for the women's national team.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the Portland Zoo the past few games.
Last
of
night
this Olympics,
for the
last
gold
night
medal
for the
match.
final.
Yeah, I want to
Was
know how
terrific.
last night went.
Yeah, I think we should talk about the U.S. women in general. Obviously,
Okay.
winning gold yesterday.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
That was in our notes. Winning gold was a big deal. First time since 2012, so it's been over a
We're
decade.
back, baby.
I'm interested to see if Bass has anything to say. Emma Hayes winning the gold.
Big up Emma Hayes.
Up the Chels.
Yeah, up the Chels. Maybe they should just give her the men's job too. Who knows? She's done really well. She's come in, set up her same exact way of playing ball that she did over in England, and she's, I think, the perfect mixture of a player's manager and someone who wants it done their way. And I think that if we're going to overhaul the U.S. women and, if we're going to lodge complaints about a team who goes out and, gets a medal or better at every single tournament they play in, then you have to go about it the right way. And I think that picking Hayes was kind of the way to go. If they're going to do that, some people probably look at the revamping of the national team as unnecessary when they win so much, but it does really come down to making sure that countries that are playing good ball like Spain, Japan are not catching up, or we're not feeling like they're catching up as fast, because they will. The game has advanced so much in 15 years outside of the United States that the U.S. does have to start really picking and choosing what to do to make sure that they stay on top. And I think that Hayes is the way to go in that regard.
Yeah, it's just fun to see kind of like an overhauled team in a way too, because it's very fresh. Like Sophia Smith, Naomi Girma, you're really seeing some like names come into their own in this tournament, and this is their first really big piece of silverware. So that was pretty cool to kind of see it come together. It was also a nice game yesterday to kind of see Marta wave goodbye to a fantastic career.
Yes, I love Marta, and it's going to be good from a U.S. fan perspective. I thought that was the 4 for a ball coming in. Like, I was like, yo.
Somebody waved at us.
I was like, there's no way that wave was that calm for a ball coming in.
A synchronated wave.
This is Flatley.
Yeah.
Well, the experience is worth so much, for the young players. And but huge congratulations.
Yeah.
How many goals did they give up?
Oof, not many.
I don't know.
1?
Is it really?
Alyssa Nair is...
Yeah,
it might be maybe 2.
Some wild saves yesterday. I think she's had 8 clean sheets in 10 games. Emma Hayes.
God,
so
that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think we've only given up like 2 or 3 goals.
2 or 3 goals probably.
It's wild.
But with that, you guys want to get into the Premier League? That's kind of like the next thing on the soccer schedule when we're talking about the Hearts and what's coming next. It's everyone's gearing up for the Premier League next weekend.
Well, the Hearts opened up the Fantasy League an option to participate with them. So if you guys are interested in that, that's something that I think I'll get into. I've never actually been in a fantasy league.
I'm terrible at
because
FPL.
I know I'm going to be terrible at it.
It's very difficult.
Let's get started on this show. I'll show you how terrible I am.
We can throw the link in the description of the video. So if you want to participate, make it a huge league and have some great banter throughout the season.
Yeah.
So you can fit together the best squad.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking, I didn't pitch this before the episode either, but I was kind of thinking as we go throughout the season and do more episodes about, kind of doing a check-in about the regular fixtures of the podcast, how they're doing in the FPL standings. And, we'll have, there's going to be hundreds of people in that FPL league, but checking in on the union members and
Are you volunteering your time for this?
Oh, I'll absolutely do this. I'll check in and I'll read the standings every day. I'll take responsibility.
All right. So when this segment of the show doesn't show up, it'll
be on me.
Okay, good.
It'll be on me. But we are.
What's that, Mitchell?
We want to catch a player from Flatley.
Oh, okay.
Let's do it. Absolutely.
Tom.
I'm going to get up.
Do you want to get up?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, we're going to do a live interview, I think.
Yeah.
So okay, cool. Let's do it.
Good. Hi, guys.
How's it going, Tom?
It's going great.
Welcome. So if you want to just introduce yourself real quick, tell us who you are, why you're here, and what took place this weekend.
Sure. So my name's Tom Bell. I'm the founder of Flatley Football Club. We came up to Portland from Boston, invited by the hosts, Old Port. We know that Casa helped out a lot with getting this tournament organized. We play in Casa, Boston, back home. Awesome vibe to see a new tournament get started, and we really enjoyed ourselves this weekend.
Awesome. How did the knockout round go for you today?
Definitely not as good as the group stages. Solid start yesterday, but I think the lads enjoyed themselves last night.
Awesome.
Rolled to the field about 2 minutes before.
That makes a difference.
Yes, it does. So rolling up 2 minutes before kickoff probably didn't do us any favors, but I think the hosts, Old Port, had our number today regardless. They played really well.
Awesome. Yeah. And we actually we were in the same group yesterday in the group stage and played our third game of the day against each other. Really competitive match. You guys fielded a really nice squad. How long have you guys been playing together, and what does a normal season look like for your club?
Yeah, it was a great final group stage game. Flatley has gone through a lot of changes in terms of how competitive we are. It's almost like it's different every year. We were just kind of a community pickup group for a long time. 4 years ago, we took a step into the amateur scene. We've even had a semi-pro team for a year.
Oh, wow.
And it's different groups of guys competing for those different groups. Like Flatley, we try to have an option for everybody to play. If you're just like looking to have some beers with the guys and kind of hang out on the weekends and play some soccer, you can do that. If you're into really pushing yourself and you're still in your early 20s and want to reach the heights of competitive soccer, then we try to have an option for that too. So this group of guys, man, it's like who's available on a weekend to get to Portland. And we got, some of our more competitive guys, some of the drinkers, some of the Sunday leaguers, and some guys in the middle. So, we came together and it was pretty fun.
Awesome to hear. We appreciate you guys coming up to Portland. Is this your first time in Maine?
I got a long history of coming to Maine with my family. We used to come to Wells every summer. I've spent some time in Kennebunkport a few summers. This is my second time in Portland. My cousin got married in Portland.
Beautiful.
Oh, wow. Big wedding town.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big wedding town, and you can see why. It's really, really, really beautiful. So I love it up in Maine. I've been a New Englander my whole life, so I feel a little bit at home when I'm here. A lot of the lads, their first time in Portland, they couldn't believe how nice of a city it was, and there was no traffic on the way to the beach. It's crazy. Crazy.
I have to compliment the kit really quick because we're sitting next to Hadlock Field, and it's really given a lot of retro Portland Sea Dogs vibes,
Absolutely.
which I love.
Yeah.
And sponsored by our board member's very own Bunker Brewing.
Yeah, shout out Bunker.
Great to see them. And they also hosted the opening ceremony, so awesome to see the local connections here. And we appreciate you guys, hopping on the podcast, giving us some good competition and playing a fair game of footy.
For sure.
When, it's just a weekend, first time. Don't really know what's to be expected going into it.
Bring everybody up in March, starting in March for the Hearts games.
That would be really awesome. I think it's so cool you guys got a supporters group already for a new project, and you put a team in for a tournament like this. Maine and Portland, just such community-minded places. So, we'll be back up to catch a Hearts game, back up for another Forest City Cup.
Go to the beach.
Yeah, go to the beach
to
again. Show up late for kickoff again.
It might be a little chilly in March.
We'll welcome you guys back anytime with open arms. We're gonna have the stadium open 2 hours before kickoff. A nice little beer garden, trying to bring the energy, and we'd love Flatley to come back for a Hearts of Pine game when we kick off next year.
That would be great. It's not a bad drive for any of us, so yeah, we can make it happen.
Awesome. Any way our viewers can interact with your club if we have anybody in the Massachusetts area?
Sure. You can find out everything you need to know about Flatley FC probably through the Instagram, Flatley_FC. That's FLATLEY for Flatley. You'll see a little bit about our community stuff and our competitive teams. We like to keep it fun.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
We appreciate you
Well
stopping
done,
by.
man.
I know you gotta head out. The club is dragging you along, but we really appreciate you stopping by, Tom.
Yeah, thank you for having
Very nice
me.
meeting you.
Nice
Congrats
to
on
meet
the
you all.
tournament, too.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
So, all right. So Hearts opened up the Fantasy League. We mentioned that, and we want to talk a little bit about ourselves, since next weekend is the start of things, and trying to think about the season that's coming, and there's so many interesting things to talk about. I mean, probably everybody does a top four. It's not a bad place to start. I mean, I would assume everybody at this table has the same top two.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know if we do. So for reference, me and Charles are Liverpool fans, and Bass is a Chelsea fan.
Yeah.
How do we
What
not
about
have all
me,
the
Josh?
same top two? I think
I
it's got to be
Mitch.
pretty universal,
Mitch.
right? Like,
All right.
what am I missing?
Well, for me, it's Villa and Ipswich. Is that not? All right. No, seriously. All right, just go. Who's your top two? Because we got to start having some discussion points here.
City and then Arsenal, like 15 to 20 points below that.
Okay.
I had City and Arsenal.
All right. So do I. So let's talk a little bit
okay.
about.
I was underestimating Liverpool, I guess.
But everybody's got City one.
Yes.
I don't.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mitchell, you're off camera, man. Nobody asked you.
Let him go.
All right. Let's.
I think losing Alvarez is a very, very big thing for that front three, especially with Holland not really showing us in year two what it was he was all about. If Holland goes down for any extended period of time, or if Kevin De Bruyne has an injury like he picked up last year, I could easily see them slipping into a third place spot.
Third place.
Yeah,
City.
absolutely.
Ooh, big shout.
Doku would need to show out. You need Foden on it every single game, and and I don't know if Nathan Ake is going to continue the form that he's been in. So I think there are more outliers this year than anything. It's going to be a weird year. We don't have Klopp versus Pep anymore. That era is long gone at this point. I just think there's too many variables going into this season for all clubs. Like, I think Arsenal has a better shout of stealing a title this year than I would say City.
Okay, that's a really
hot
good
take.
That's a really good hot take, especially for discussion purposes. So I can feel Josh like next to me.
Pat, I'm gonna get a phone call from Pat when he hears this.
I don't know if I agree. They did add Savinho, which I think adds quite a bit of depth.
It is a good pickup.
I don't know. If you just look around Man City, I think it's less about Man City winning the title and less about the competition around them. Arsenal still don't have a top striker.
I agree.
Liverpool's in a transition year, I think, even off the back of a pretty good ending to what Klopp's tenure was. And in fourth place, I had Chelsea.
Chelsea in fourth.
That'd be nice.
I think Chelsea have added enough. I think Pedro Neto, great signing. I think they've added enough to get some results.
I actually.
Will their signings come through though?
Yeah,
they don't have problems signing people.
No, it's no problem. They don't have problems selling people either. Apparently,
that's true too.
It's like a hot potato club right now. I mean, I feel good about the people that are there.
What did you? Not to interrupt you, but just as you said, you feel good about the people who are there. What was your take on Pochettino? Did you want him around, or were you?
I didn't want him around, and then he won a ton of games in a row, and I was like, if this is truly a corner turn, then there's no reason for him to go. If it's just the team getting hot and playing well, and it's the end of the season, and clubs that don't have anywhere to go in mid-table are phoning it in, then I don't really count it. But at the same time, I know what I saw the last 2 months of the season, and I'm very happy with it. I'm very proud of it. I think that in the end, it's probably harsh for Poch to be gone, but I see him picking up a good job somewhere else. I didn't necessarily want him in at the beginning, but it felt like a peaks and valleys kind of year for me. I don't feel over the top excited about Maresca or the season, but there is something to be said about Pep disciples. Arteta is working out, and he got so much of his start from that system and Guardiola and his knowledge. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that there is potential for Maresca to be similar to that. But all good things take time, and nobody in Clear Lake ownership group seems to necessarily understand that. So I think that it's going to be an interesting year. I'd be happy with fourth. I would be upset with anything under sixth, and at least the semifinals of the Europa League.
I think that's fair expectations.
Where did Chelsea finish last season? Was it sixth or was it eighth?
It was sixth because of
United finished eighth, didn't
they?
they?
Because of a crazy run at the end, and because of all that, we get to play in Europe again.
Of the season 12th.
Yeah, and I blinked, and all my frustrations had gone away. Even though watching every game that we climbed was equally as frustrating as the first 29 of them, the last 9 were just fantastic, over the moon. But hopefully they climb out of it. Every year that we've had a disgusting-looking home kit, we've actually played well in the last 20 years. So I kind of have some hope for this season. Away shirt looks beautiful, though.
As a Liverpool fan living in America, you don't get a lot of heat felt debate with other people that support a different club. But where I grew up in Pittsburgh a long time ago, there was right next to a family office. There was a goldsmith named Keith. Anyway, die-hard from Chelsea fan. He named his daughter Chelsea. His jewelry store was Chelsea's gold, I believe. So and he made me hate Chelsea because he loved them so much. And and that was the time period Chelsea won a lot. They were doing very, very well. Frank Lampard was the man and all of that. So I try not to hate Chelsea as much as I used to. It's easier now when you guys aren't dominant. It's easier to be to not care as much. But I'm enjoying it. So, if you finish 8th, it's fine with me.
Yeah, I totally get that. I refuse. Ever since the Champions League in 2021, I've just refused to wear blinders about where things are at. Obviously I want to go out there and say, oh, Cole Palmer's the best. He should have been player of the year, blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing.
I like him. I think he's
top to me. Like I don't know who.
Is he too good for Chelsea?
I mean, Chelsea last 5 years, yeah. But I mean, if
is he the one that's going to bring Chelsea forward?
I hope so. That's he's not over the top. He's not difficult to work with by the looks of it. I mean, we had the little penalty spat last year, but that's more just about listening to the manager, in my opinion. Obviously, if you're on the field and you are in the area and you draw a foul and you win a penalty, you're going to want to take it. I think that, hopefully with the youth of Chelsea, you don't see the problems with having an overload of youth players. Everybody wants to get theirs. Everybody wants to be the guy to go home to their family and be on $300K a week, but you have to act a certain way on the field. And if everyone kind of comes out and Reece James stays healthy, I made it so far without talking. I made it so far without talking about Reece, but if Reece stays healthy,
he's a fresh injury, right?
Yeah, it's a day ending in Y. But with Reece, when he's healthy, when he's competing, when he's out there, he could not play for 6 months, and he goes out there, and it's just the best there is. Like, it is really disheartening to see. But then again, if he was healthy, he probably would be in Real Madrid by now. So it's hard to tell. I remember when they wanted him a couple of years ago, but refused on it because of injuries. But if he stays healthy, if the key pieces like Palmer, if Jackson comes around, he came around well at the end of the year. I wanted to see Jackson every single day that they played, and I definitely wasn't saying that when we bought him. Who else? David Fofana. They loaned him out again. I wanted him back again this season. He looks so much fun to have, and I just want someone in the middle that's consistent and is going to finish the ball when it comes around. I'm not asking for Didier Drogba. I'm not asking for Andriy Shevchenko. I'm asking for somebody to kick the ball in the net from 8 yards out into one of the corners. And if we do that, we'll probably
anywhere, really, right?
Anywhere is fine. I really don't care.
So you had them fourth? Is it
I said I'd be happy with fourth. Anything less than sixth in a Europa League semi, because with the Conference League these days and the way the Champions League is, there's been a lot of shift of teams over the last couple of years. The Europa League looks weak as heck this year, and it's just like if you are a top team from one of these big 5 countries, like you have to have the expectation going in, like you need to be winning it. You need to be in the knockouts. You need to be cleaning out your group.
So City from you, Bass. City, Arsenal,
United.
I wanted to bring something up. Yesterday, it was announced that United have reached an agreement with 24-year-old center back Matthias de Ligt. I think that shores up a lot of their issues at the back. He is a proven talent, a young talent, and I think that he makes that team a lot better. I think that's going to be one of the key signings to look at. Is
he a proven talent? Is that why Bayern Munich and Juventus didn't want him?
I think so. And I'd like to see his Premier League test. Yeah. I think so. I think he needs to find the right spot. He's Dutch. He's going to play under Ten Hag, and I think it's a really good move for him.
Yeah, I mean, they're either gonna be in third at Christmas, or Ten Hag's not gonna have a job.
Exactly.
They're in year 3, and United's been way more patient than anyone's expected them to be about this situation.
Well, they got burned going coach after coach after coach. Right?
That's the thing, and I go through the same thing right now with, being a Chelsea fan, and we kind of we're kind of doing what United did, just it's several years ahead.
Who do you go? You're United. Who do you go get if you fire Ten Hag? We don't have to spend a ton of time on it, but who do you? That's my point, though.
Well, okay. Yeah, I guess that would be it, because the other two guys that were
gamble, though. It's all a gamble, though, and I feel like they've always been gambling ever since they lost Sir Alex.
Since Fergie left.
Yeah. I don't know. I just haven't been sold by Ten Hag. His transfer business in the summer is so limited to his previous experience, which is he buys players that have played in the Eredivisie or who are Dutch.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a naive point of view in the Premier League.
He's playing Ultimate Team. He's literally playing Ultimate Team, bro.
Literally. I don't know. And Yenny Loro's already out for 3 months, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just don't see United.
Do you think Mainu gets more looks? He had an outstanding Euro performance. When he got his minutes,
starter.
I think the emergence of him throughout the summer, he's in form. He didn't pick up any, lasting injuries. I think this could be a year we see United do something
I think
better
they have a
than
better
what we're
season.
expecting.
I think they have a better season than last season. But I think the questions are going to be how long they keep Ten Hag.
Yeah.
If they're going to see. But
But
I'm
that's been the
surprised he's
narrative
still.
for 3 years.
That's true,
Yeah.
and I'm surprised he's still there. It would be
Right.
interesting to talk to a United fan and get the perspective. I think a lot of them they don't know either.
Yeah.
You know, like it's hard to say.
Union United fans, we need you guys here. Next,
Let's have a chat.
sound
Blow up
off.
the- blow up
Sound
the
a
channel.
call to action. Sound off. Where are United fans?
It is true, and if we're going to talk about the Premier League, you know, this is a Hearts show, really, a fan show. So, and it's about USL1. But right now, we don't have everything going on, so we have content. We're all Premier League fans, but it would be great to talk to Hearts, guys in the Dirigo Union.
I know there are
Discord
a lot of Tottenham fans
that want to come on and give us a perspective, like Bass's with Chelsea today. We'll never talk that much about Chelsea again.
No.
Santi
And
is also a Chelsea supporter.
probably-
we have
He's
Molly
not
on the
alone.
board. Molly's a Brighton fan.
To be fair, I probably won't want to talk much longer about it, but
Oh no, you're coming on after you do the stats, or after you do the
I'm here.
fantasy league.
Thank-
Oh,
thank
I'll
you
do
for
I'll
being
do
on.
that every.
Bass's
That's
Chelsea,
way more fun.
Bass's Chelsea section.
Bass's bets.
Yeah.
Bass's bets. I like it. We'll see how you. I'm going to put you down for fourth. I know you said no lower than 6,
Ooh.
but
Yeah.
Sorry, crunching tackles back here. You probably
I
saw
heard
those
that
on
one.
camera.
nice.
I don't know if anybody was in the way. That was some aggressive bit of play.
Way to dig in, son.
Get in. All right, but Tottenham, I think, made another good signing with Solanke.
Yeah, I think-
that's a good move for.
He's a
for-
solid
He's a
player.
good
Big
bench.
hole.
They
he's
depth
got
player.
Archie Gray from Leeds too, which is
Ooh,
a
I didn't know that.
hugely
Yeah,
I think that's a great signing.
wildly anticipated player. I would say.
I agree.
I've got a good one since we're talking transfers, and it might not happen right away. Maybe it's a January thing, but by the end of the January transfer window, what club will Ivan Toney be playing his ball at?
Ooh,
Norwich.
Because maybe it won't be in the summertime, but January does come around, and teams got to make moves. Teams got to make money.
I think if Arne Slot gets a good look at Darwin Nunez and doesn't like him by January, you could see
Ooh.
Liverpool move in for Tony.
Yeah.
Tony at Liverpool.
I think so.
I wouldn't
He's
be behind
clinical.
that. I see where you're coming from. I personally wouldn't be behind that
No?
at all. No. I think he's an Arsenal flop written all over him. I think he's a player that goes to Arsenal and doesn't do well.
I could see that too. Arsenal definitely need a striker, so I think they'd be in the market for him.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a little bit cheaper than options like Victor Osimhen or whatever. But
Oh, he's English.
well, that too. But he is a little older.
Though, you touched on something very interesting there. Arne Slot not liking Darwin Nunez. That could happen. I could see that happening.
Because Klopp, I think, was the biggest supporter of Darwin Nunez. Gave him way more chances than other managers would have.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, Arne Slot might not have the same patience.
No, I mean, he's supposed to be somebody who takes players and elevates them in a Klopp-like style, but it's really whether you're a Liverpool fan or not, I think that is very interesting. I mean, Nunez he scores worldies and misses sitters consistently, so he's on. Everybody likes to talk about him because it's just so entertaining to watch, for good or for bad, right? So I think everybody will be interested to see if he makes it where he ends up in the
The
Arne
other
Slot
truth is
era.
that Liverpool's really narrow up top. I think Klopp always resorted to Gakpo playing as the number 9. Gakpo's clear position, where he's
On
the
the
best
left.
at, which he proved in the Euros, is out on the left. And I think Arne Slot knows that. So really, we have one striker. I mean, I guess Diogo Jota too, but I think his best position's on the left as well. So
we have 3 wingers at this point.
exactly. So I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool moved in for a striker.
What do you think about what's happening there in Liverpool with the transfers right now? So, I mean, this week we're finding out that we're losing Klopp kids.
Yeah,
Ben
I know.
Doak is rumored. Carvalho, I mean, not
Bobby
necessarily
Clark.
a Klopp kid, but Bobby Clark and Carvalho. Personally, I always wanted him to be the next Coutinho. I don't think he ever was going to be that. I thought the writing was on the wall when he was loaned. I didn't see him coming back, but
I want him to do well too. I think he crossed Klopp's red line, of professionalism, and I think it never was going to work out, him coming back. And I think he was always never really had a place in the team. Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott had better places in the team, and I think could argue Curtis Jones probably isn't necessarily the player Carvalho is. I think the move to Brentford's good for him, and I mean, we made money on him. Plus, we have a 20% sell-on fee.
which
is crazy for a player like
So
that.
you're okay with him
I'm
leaving?
okay with him leaving.
You're okay with him leaving.
I think we obviously need replacements.
I think we're going to be backing Jones just after the U.S. tour he went on. I think he's finding the new system really fun to play in. It's progressive and it fits his eye well. in terms of distributing the ball across the top of the box or making that run in.
Yep.
He scored a couple of really nice goals and was moving the ball well, moving forward.
I got to see him in Pittsburgh, and he was the best player on the pitch. It was
I
the most fun to watch until he got
feeling
hurt.
refreshed.
Yeah,
because I think Curtis is like somebody who has always kind of been one of those fringe guys. He's a local lad, so it's like it's understanding that he would be there, but not necessarily option number one, especially when you had a healthy Thiago or Gini Wijnaldum or like anybody over the last, like even Jordan Henderson at moments, even though I need to bite my tongue. Josh knows how much and Bastu knows how much I did not mesh well with Hendo. But that's
do tell.
I don't know. I just I liked him as a captain. Like he was a good leader, but I just thought like he had really big shoes to fill after Gerrard left.
Sure.
And I like he got the silverware, but it wasn't like I think he was a gritty player, but I don't think it was like what I think our captain should have been.
I think the manner in which he left soured. I know it soured me. Like I would think more highly of him. I think he'd have a longer lasting legacy if he hadn't left the way he did. So I'm not like.
But back to Curtis. I just think like he has an opportunity to step in now and like hold. It went right.
Okay.
And hold on to this position. Like there is a free range to earn your spot right now.
Yep.
And so far he's hitting all of his marks in my opinion.
I have another like great transfer I'd like to shout out.
Yeah.
Amadou Onana going to Aston Villa. I love that signing. Aston Villa's done a great job replacing the people they lost in Douglas Luiz and Moussa Diaby. I think they've added some good players. I think this could be a really exciting year for Unai Emery.
Yeah, I like watching him. I like him as a coach, as a manager, and I think they're in my top 4.
I think they're right outside the top 4, but I think they push throughout the year.
I was thinking about it on the way down today. I was thinking 5 and 6 are actually very interesting positions where I think Liverpool's likely to finish 4th. I'd probably be happy with 4th this year. Obviously, I'd be disappointed if they don't finish in the top 4, but it's not completely unexpected. I think it's a huge ask for Arne Slot to come in at post-Klopp.
I think West Ham's pushing for top 6 too. West Ham they kept their hands on Mohamed Kudus. They added guys like Max Kilman in defense. Also, the name is passing me by. I'm gonna have to look in my notes.
Look it up. Well, you got
Nicholas Fulkrug.
To
the front line, which is a huge upgrade to Mikel
That's
Antonio.
That's 10 goals minimum right there.
Minimum.
If he's healthy and playing most of the games,
that's right.
There's no way that's not double-digit
I think
goals.
they'll be
He's
pushing
ridiculous.
in the top half for sure, especially after getting rid of David Moyes too.
He's the starting forward for Germany. I don't. You have the guy that
Also had a pretty good Euro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that, good talent. He's scoring goals against an international competition. Like there's no reason he can't step out there and have goals at least consistently against some of the lesser teams in the Prem. That dude's a unit, man.
Going back to City Arsenal too, I was tabling it while we were talking about it. The one thing I will say, I was curious to see if you guys agree, is I still think City will win the league, and here's why. But I think the past couple of years, especially like last season, I think a team. I'm surprised they won the league on the points they did, but then I've been thinking about it. I think they just where they are right now is they're just going to play a little bit better than whoever's pushing them, and I feel like they did that last season. You get like prime Klopp, he wins the league last season. Liverpool win that league, but with Arsenal, I feel like that could just happen again, where City can just play to Arsenal and just that little bit better.
Yeah.
So that when Arsenal slips up, they're ahead a point come the end of the season. The same type of thing. And I do think they're weaker without Alvarez. I agree with you, Mitchell. I think, and I want to see City get weaker. So I like that. And the other side is like it's never been done before. 4 on the trot. And to me, they looked a little not disinterested, but it wasn't like trying. It wasn't like the title was. It just didn't look like the players were living for that, with the De Bruyne injuries and everything. But I still think that I see another season this year like last season. I think they'll just go a little bit farther than Arsenal. I think if you're an Arsenal fan right now, you're starting to get pretty annoyed. Welcome to being, How do you think Liverpool fans have felt trying to compete against?
It's a whole new age
Guardiola.
of being an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
It's just like instead of fighting Chelsea for it for 15 years, now you just gotta fight City for it. But City are way better and have a trillion
Did Pep
more
just
dollars.
sign it? Where is he on agreement? Remind me. With City, he's got 2 years left.
He's got 1.
1 year
and
left.
that's
Didn't sign an extension.
Nope. And that's
Somebody told me
why
that
I'm
didn't
picking
make
City.
sense to me.
Yeah.
That's kind of the basis behind
This is like
the
his
pick.
send-off year. Do it for Pep.
And because every one of those players, like if they look at it from a personal career standpoint, with the work that you have to put in under that man, they're looking at it like this is it too. This is my last chance to play for a guy that I know if I do what I'm told, I'm going to be a champion. And one more year of that means one more year of the hardest work that a guy will probably do in his career. And if you're looking back at what you've won and what you've accomplished as a player, there is no reason to put it all down to win this year in my eyes. And I think between that and Arsenal not really taking, I think Arsenal needed to buy 4 or 5 people that could step up and body these City players tactically. Really? And I really think they're that far from it because City had terrible injury luck last year. Like they objectively speaking, they're the best team, whatever. They had pretty awful injury luck and still did it. And
every second team is incredible. I mean, their players off the bench, most people would want them in their starting 11.
And for Arsenal, you had a fair amount of injury problems, but nothing that was season defining. And not to be negative Nelly Chelsea fans, still pooping on Arsenal, even though we're eons worse than you, but you still didn't get it done.
Ooh.
You still didn't get it done, and you had way more chance and way more reason for that to be the year than this one, with Pep on his way out. And De Bruyne, if I'm him and the injuries and the shellings I've taken while putting it all on the line for Pep, I'm getting the hell out of there after this season. I'm old. I can go play wherever and be respected and make the money and take care of my family. I've put in the hard work if I'm De Bruyne. And I think you'll see a lot of other guys, Rodri. I think there will be an exodus after this season. And, not to be talking about next season a week before this season, but it is one of those things where, in my opinion, we'll get to next season and there will be a million question marks about who the team will be. But for the next 365 days, it's going to be Manchester City.
Yeah. On the same page with that one.
Bottom 3?
I haven't put too much thought into this. I think Everton will get relegated this season.
This is the year?
I think a full season without Anthony Gordon. They had him for half the year last year, and they're going to lose Branthwaite, I think. And I think that's enough to send Everton down.
How many point deductions are we going to see this season?
I don't know. Hopefully 1 at least.
That's such hater material, too, because they have, there's no reason to be beefing with Everton.
Well, no, this
point.
is also their last season at Goodison Park, and I think the narrative of them getting relegated would just be great. Get sent to Bramley-Moore Docks, a stadium they can't afford in the championship.
See,
God, can you imagine?
It would be bad. They'd probably get evicted.
Well, let's see. This season, the promoted teams went back down, or should say last season. So it's very, very likely that it happens again.
A lot of the ones that got promoted have done pretty good business. I know Ipswich
I don't
has
think
done
Leicester's
quite a
going
bit.
down. I can,
Leicester
that's
might stay up. I think Luton could probably get sent back down this year.
I think so. I think so. Luton, Ipswich.
I know Southampton's added a lot. I like Southampton. I mean, Forest could probably go back down. Forest have really struggled the past 2 seasons.
That's true. That's a good shout out.
I don't know who the third one was. I'd have to take a harder look at the table, I think. But definitely Everton.
There's been some shake-up at Wolves over the last year and a half, too.
It's true.
I think they play Arsenal opening day, don't they? That'll be I'm just thinking opening day game. Sorry, that'd be an interesting game.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's a lot of outliers. I think the bottom race is going to be a lot tighter. Staying up is going to be a little bit more tough this year because it feels like the pack has leveled out quite a bit. There's a lot of change.
No fucking way we have City.
Yeah.
On opening day.
That's right.
We got Ipswich, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we play it. Liverpool plays Ipswich.
Ipswich. I think we have the
Arsenal
12:30
plays
kickoff.
Wolves, I believe.
I'm
Of course we have the 12:30 kickoff. I remember that was like one of the first things they asked Arna about, and I thought he did. I think he's done really well, actually, as far as how Arna, how he talks to the media. Because, we love Klopp for the character he is and also the manager he is, but just everything he brought to the club embodied the club. So it's hard to even watch another manager be asked those questions, I think, and see how's he going to respond? What's his persona going to be? And so interesting to see what's going to happen this season.
It's going to be a fun season. I think we're all excited to get out to the zoo next weekend and watch it all unfold.
So we'll be that's the plan, to be down at the zoo, and depending on when this goes live, we'll try to get this episode turned around as quickly as possible. Then we'll be talking to you guys in about a week's time. So we're boring. I don't think we had anything interesting to say in our top 4 compared to other than Chelsea.
You don't know what's going to happen with them. Like, you really never do.
Yeah, it's better to play it safe with top 4.
Yeah.
Usually ends up shaking out to be the top 4. So
I hope Ipswich stay up. That's like that's my entire relegation conversation. It's like really interesting. That seems like an actual grassroots effort, that club, and like what they stand for and the people there. It's very entertaining, and something that I think the only other real comparison that there has been to, especially in the Premier League recently, is Luton, and kind of like that small town feeling. Wrexham does give off that feeling in certain ways. Different league, obviously, for now, but I'm a big fan of that feeling lately, and I don't know if it's because Chelsea have just been so awful the last couple of years. That
I was gonna say,
I just want to look at something that makes me happy.
Who else are you watching? As you're a Chelsea fan, you're probably watching somebody else.
I try to watch the league as a whole, but I watched more Championship last year than I ever have. It was kind of fun to see that fight at the top. Ipswich and Leicester.
It's a hell of a league.
Yeah.
That
it's
Ipswich,
a hell of a league.
They'll probably just show it on Peacock, but like if you scroll through the fixture list and you see Ipswich Leicester, put that on the TV, brother. Let me tell you, it's gonna be 4-3. Like it's gonna be everything that you ask for in a game. They had one great game in the Championship last year, but if you ever get sick of your Premier League team, man, go watch the Championship. Go watch the Portuguese league, man. That's crazy. There's some really fun teams in there that just don't care about giving up goals as long as they can score 3 a game. So, it's out there. If you ever get grumpy with your club, come ask me what to watch, because I'm always watching anything that is not Chelsea right now. I need a second screen whenever I watch a Chelsea game.
So, community engagement.
Yeah.
Any shout-outs, Mitchell, moving forward?
Yeah, so I know community engagement's working on starting up a gear drive so we can start giving back to the community, gearing up for soccer season. If we can donate any new or lightly used equipment.
Okay.
I think Santi is the one to reach out for that. It could be Allison. Okay. So reach out to Allison. We can get the contact info in there. If you want to get involved with helping out with the community drive, community gear drive, just let us know. Interact with us in the Discord. Shoot us an email, or leave us a message on YouTube. Yes, Bass?
I must have turned around at the perfect time, because I just turned around and a dude just drilled the ball from like 30 yards into the top corner.
Hopefully it's on camera.
This has been a good game. I hope you're able to watch some of it behind us. This is between Cheese Louise and I can't get a good look at the front of the other shirts.
This
CMF.
Is fast. This game is fast, man.
CMF? I'm not sure. But no, this has been a fun game. So just stay tuned. I know they're still finalizing details on that, working out the details, but we want to make sure that we're helping get some equipment to kids for the fall. And then, goodness, I think just a little call to action. The club announced that they have sold 60 or have deposits placed for 62% of their season ticket allotment.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be some deposit holder events coming up at the beginning of September.
So
6th, I believe, Sep 6th.
So just if you haven't gotten your deposit placed yet and you want to be a part of the Hearts of Pine, you want to be a season ticket holder and be a part of the Dirigo Union supporter section, we'd be happy to have you. And you can place your deposit right on the Hearts of Pine website. Get them before they're gone is kind of the mantra. We're going to be heading into the fall soon. Things are going to be winding down, and we're going to be doing player announcements, manager announcements, things like that. So becoming a season ticket holder and placing a deposit, it's just $25. gets you your spot in line and guarantees you're not missing out on any of the action.
We also want to put
said.
just a quick shout out for people to help out on the content team.
Yeah.
So if you're part of Dirigo Union already, perfect. We already have a kind of a thing in the Discord for it. If you're not part of the union, join it so you can be part of this team. But we need help with just logistics, kind of admin stuff.
Clipping, if you have any video editing, clipping, anything
social
like
media.
that.
Yeah, it's a lot
streaming,
of work. It's a lot of work to put every
background
episode
on that.
together, and the more hands we have to do little bits here and there, especially what Mitchell and Josh just said. Please, make yourself known. We'd love to meet you, love to work with you. Also, I think we're going to open up a new channel in Discord, certainly by the time this is live. There'll be a channel there called Podcast Interaction or something similar. It might not be exactly that.
Content interaction.
But specifically for the podcast, for people to, so that when we have shout outs on the podcast, that's the dedicated place to go with your responses, with your suggestions. I want to do stuff like, VAR, yes, VAR, no, simple stuff, just interesting conversation points. We'd like to make
we could dive into the pro-rel debate. We could do anything.
And also,
anything you want to talk about within the world of
and if you want
football.
You want to hop on and talk about your club, get perspective on here, because it can't all be Liverpool all the time.
No.
And it can't be Chelsea every once in a while.
No, it definitely can't. Not anymore. Not one more time this season. So
I'm starting to feel bad for you, buddy.
But let's kick the conversation off. We talked about in the first episode our thoughts on like jersey design, like hoops versus stripes versus collar versus no collar. What are people's thoughts on what a potential kit sponsor could be? What are your favorite options? Let us know in the podcast interaction channel in the Discord. Comment on YouTube. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are so we could discuss it and maybe put a little graphic out, see how many votes each spot gets, and maybe there's some stuff we're not thinking about.
Yep.
Yeah, and I know it's
a good shout out.
I know it's probably like an overstated thing, but just if you have the time, making sure you're liking, sharing all the content that you can. Obviously, we're not asking that you post every single thing and be a nuisance to the people on your social media, but just making sure that the people that are out here checking in on this, know that the other people in their lives that are getting excited for these moments that are coming soon, that know that we're going to be doing content. We're going to have game day stuff. We're going to have stuff on more than just YouTube in the works. So there's going to be, multiple ways to be doing this, but we want to grow so that when game one comes around, it already is a comfort thing. And because that's really is the end game, is that, when we're at game one here in this stadium, like we're looking at the stand right now that we're going to be standing in not even 10 months, less than that, 8 months, man. But just making sure that we're, it feels established. It doesn't feel like we have to start growing when the season starts and we get there. So, if you guys have the time, like, share, sub, whatever it is that you guys want to do to help us, we just want to help grow this thing as much as anyone else.
Bring that authentic supporter group experience right here locally. Is really the big goal. We want to bring the energy every night. We want to make it a formidable place for opponents to come, and the sooner you get involved, the sooner we get there. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We're pretty easy to talk to. If not, we'd love to see you at the zoo, wherever we're popping up. Follow our newsletter. Scan the QR code on the screen. Or visit us at dirigounion.com for more information. You can stay up to date on chants and songs, all of our happenings in the community, and just be a part of it.
Yeah, and
get in early.
Yeah, and I won't blab about anything like too crazy, but I know that we, in the works, officially are planning both an outdoor and an indoor form of get together with members and people in the community. So do be on the lookout for that. A more fun, family-friendly event, and then something more, outdoor, physical, playing ball, stuff like that. So please keep an eye out. But it's going to be more than just podcasts and posting soon. We're going to be on the field together, having fun, watching games. So be ready for that. We are so excited to be bringing that to this area. And for a lot of us, it's been a decades or longer dream to be having this and growing into this. So hang tight. It's right around the corner, guys.
And thank you to everybody who's already sharing, who's already doing all those things, because we really appreciate it. We've had a really gotten positive feedback from the first episode. And thank you guys to everybody who watched that. we really enjoyed doing it, and happy to be back here. And we'll keep doing this until the season begins, as often as we can. Obviously, once that starts, we can kick it up a notch, and we'll have a lot more content, multiple shows, all kinds of stuff. Quick shout out to last week's mention. We really want to do the show where we're traveling around the state, where we do have compiling a list of bars, event centers, pubs. Probably going to be mostly bars and pubs, but that's fine. Places we can get to around the state. What we want to do is host. The game's going to be televised. We want to reach out to that local facility, say, hey, we want to have a host watch party. Make it a day about soccer. Could you guys put that out there and see what kind of events we can get, throughout the state? So I'm really excited about that, and I'm saying if you guys need help, right? We need help finding places around the state based on where you are. And so thanks again. If you guys are local and you can make it out to the zoo in Portland for opening weekend, the plan is to be there and hopefully doing the next episode. So maybe we'll see you there. And just thank you everybody for your support, and we'll see you next time.
Cue the outro.